episode of Parafed Huddle. Good to have you back. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you haven't already, then make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. But as always, we will publish this on our website, on our YouTube channel, and on Facebook as well. So today I've got Andrew with us. He's one of our scholarship recipients, and as well he's involved himself in coaching, in being a competitive golf athlete, and as well he is the secretary with Disability Golf Association. So a really broad kind of resume there. So hello Andrew, how are you going?
Hi, thanks for having me. Hi everyone. My name is Andrew Wu, and I'm a competitive golfer within the world rankings. It's part of the European Disabled Golf Association, and I think now the US Golf Association ranking system. And we're lucky to have the first ranking event last year, and we'll have an event this year in October in Christchurch. And I'm also part of the Disability Golf New Zealand and been promoted last year as soon as I joined to be secretary. So any questions, I'm the person that I could answer the questions to.
Awesome. Thank you for that. So we'll dig straight into it and really begin to understand like the world of adaptive golf and how you kind of involve yourself and how others can involve themselves. So do you want to start by just telling us about how you got involved both as an athlete, as a coach, and as a member of the community? And then we'll go from there.
Okay. Before getting into golf, I've always been coaching throughout my whole life, and that was in martial arts. Then I unfortunately had an accident, scuba diving accident 8 years ago, hurt myself, learned to walk. Lower half of my body wasn't that great. So I couldn't do things that I enjoyed doing. And before the accident, I was like just a social golfer, typically just wanting to hit the ball as far as you can, not worrying about the score, just seeing who's the bigger man sort of thing amongst my mates. But then after the accident, balance was an issue, coordination was an issue. My legs didn't function as I wanted them to, even for walking. So in my head, I kind of automatically thought, I think, what can I do? I can't do all the active stuff or high energy stuff. So I decided to try golf, riding a cart. It involved standing still, so practicing balance, and then coordination, just swinging and hitting a ball. So I started paying attention to that. It eventually got to a point where I was able to walk part of the course, sometimes on a good day, the whole course, and started to play along. From there, I started to think about, there's Paralympics, and like golf became Olympics. So surely, like a golfer for disability people could be Paralympics. So I started inquiring it. I contacted Parafed, I think about 5 years ago, but back then I think I was sort of coerced into trying shooting, and I said, no, thank you. And I tried to contact as many international people as possible, like the actual European Disabled Golf. They never got back to me because I wasn't the main sporting organization. Luckily enough though, start of last year, I came across people from Golf Australia, and they have a very extensive golfers for disability, all various disabilities. And from there, my competitive side started. And from there, other discussions with other golfers. I met people, incredible people, people like James Gribble, who's also had a spinal injury, and he created Empower Golf, which is golfer for anybody. If you think about it, you'll make it happen. So that's where we are at now, and I'm hoping to lead the way and get something going good in New Zealand.
That is so inspiring. That's awesome. So you were talking about like how your coordination and balance are being like challenged and improved by playing golf, as well as the excitement and recreational benefit from it. How is playing, or since you started playing golf as a para athlete, how has that kind of influenced and impacted your day-to-day life?
Well, increased just my activity wise, because before I wouldn't do anything, but then going out, I had some sort of idea of achieving something, because it's very hard to find out how better my balance is. You can't really time it for long periods. Every day is variable. Whereas golf, you've got a score, and there's certain aspects of the game, for example, putting or chipping or hitting it long. You can make some sort of statistics. So it enabled a bit more awareness about what goals I could do. And the special thing about golf is that I can play along any other person, because we get given what's called a handicap. You get ranked on it, and it allows you you to make mistakes. So with my handicap, I could play another player, and it kind of evens it out, makes the playing field a bit more of an even scale.
That's awesome. That's great that it can, I mean, you're put on an even playing field and you can get involved in the entire community as well. And so before we went on the air, we were talking about how a broad variety of abilities are able to be playing golf and things like that. Do you want to tell us more about the different pieces of equipment and things that are adapted to suit abilities and things like that in the golfing environment?
Yeah, so New Zealand Golf adopted a brand name called All Abilities. That means any abilities, you've got some sort of impairment, can participate in golf. And that's what I was involved with at Golf Australia. And that's what the European Disabled Golf Association does. So there's people who are partially blind or completely blind, amputees, people with cerebral palsy. There's all varieties, both intellectual and physical. And so they come under the umbrella of All Abilities. What I've witnessed is in the major events in Australia, which I was involved with at Vic Open, Victorian Open, and a couple of the ones I did in Brisbane, they have these workshops where, for example, for blind golf, they have these glasses that you wear to sort of see what the blind golfers go through, where it's complete vision impaired or everything's fuzzy. So it really relies upon your other balance systems besides your visual, but your inner ear and your senses and your joints. The guy that I talked about, James Gribble, who started Empower Golf, he suffered a spinal cord injury like I have, but he's kind of a bit worse off because he broke his neck. And there is a wheelchair that is called a Paragolfer, which is like a motorized wheelchair that enables you to go around golf courses without damaging the course. And it also gets you from a sitting position to standing position so that you can actually swing the club, whether it be one hand, two hands, so forth. So just learning from the guys in Australia, doesn't matter what you have that affects you in normal day-to-day life. If you want to play golf, it'll happen. We can get that going.
That's awesome. That's such a supportive community that you kind of, I guess we don't see unless people like yourself go and kind of be an ambassador for it. So that's great that there's so much support and there's so many strategies in place to enable everyone to be able to play such a cool sport, which is great.
Yeah, it is.
So you mentioned before that if you get quite good at golf, then you can go traveling and things with the world ranking championships.
Yeah, absolutely. So that entices a lot of the competitive golfers. And one of the sort of highlights I had this year was at New Zealand Open in February. We had the chance to go and play in the all ability section. So there was about 17 of us, quite a few from Australia, but then also a few from New Zealand. There's a couple of young guys that are quite good and from New Zealand. And there's one Czech Republic guy that came. Now, his story, this is what I love, the stories that people have. His story was he was a professional golfer, had a car accident, had major surgeries, like multiple 6 major surgeries, but he still plays a very good game, although he has to use a motorized cart. And he is shooting like a par round, which is quite a phenomenal effort.
Yeah.
And so what the ranking system does is they make it specialized for different handicaps you have. So I don't mean as in handicaps of disability. I'm talking about golfing handicaps.
Yeah.
So if you've got a handicap of 18 or below, you play in the actual scratch score. So you count all your shots pretty much. If you have a handicap that's above that, then you're playing for like what's called a stable fit system, which is an easy system. You can score points in a hole, and if you can't score, you just pick it up. It's for
Mm.
people that have a bit more limited abilities and so on.
Mhm.
But everyone can compete. And I think this is heading towards the Paralympic sort of pathway. And this is
Yeah.
what's happening.
Yeah, definitely. That's awesome as well, like to be able to meet so many great people. And as you said, like the communities and the stories that come out of it is really great to be a part of too, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, another example is there's a guy named Ben who does Empower Golf in Queensland.
Mm.
He actually lost both his leg and damaged part of his body through the bombing in Bali, which is an
Oh,
incredible
wow.
story in itself. And he's quite a phenomenal golfer. Yeah, that
Yeah.
will encourage those that may have never thought about golf or any sports, but if you can think it, you can do it. So
Yeah.
we just need to adapt it slightly.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, that's amazing. So if you were gonna, I mean, there's so many people listening, so I guess it's not an if, it's now that you are, but what is your kind of philosophy that you like to project, that you want to get across, and your message that you want to get across to people about golf, about being able to do what you want to do? What kind of do you live by?
Well, basically, I think golf is just a medium I work through. But
Mm.
I used to, before I hurt myself, I was teaching at high schools as well. And I just love being involved with the teaching environment of like almost molding the minds of the young.
Mm.
And I've heard some stories of some people once they get hurt, obviously you go through a big downward fall and get a bit of depressive mode. But
Mm.
it's about getting yourself out and trying to look for something else. So it may not be golf, but it may be some other activity. But the philosophy I live by is like, if you can think it, you can do it. So try and make, today better than yesterday, tomorrow better than today. Always about improving some aspects, not
Mm.
massively, just small amounts. So one of the things I needed to learn was that don't think like I used to think. I can't make those, what's now a big step. Take little steps at a time. Be
Mm.
happy with the little improvements. May not be massive, but that's it. And what I find is I have an interest in golf, and a lot of people that start taking it up, it's very frustrating when you start, like most things. But then once you start hitting the ball cleanly, or you get the ball in like you intended to, it's quite addictive. And I'd like encourage people to just get in there, give it a go, and we can have other tools. And working with New Zealand Golf, they have a whole lot of like adaptive equipment as well that can help you to start your sort of progress through the golf journey,
Mm.
perhaps.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I mean, as well, at this point in time when we're possibly in lockdown, unlikely to be able to like be in the norm as much as before, then I think that kind of that 1% every day, like a little bit of improvement every day, is really valuable. I mean, some days are really tough in terms of not feeling motivated to do things, but I think you've tapped on a really cool lesson and understanding about just do something to
Yeah,
improve, just a little bit. Yeah.
whatever it is, because you can feel sorry for yourself for a while, and I guess you can at certain times. But if
Yeah.
it's a repetitive thing and it's for a long duration, you just got to think about. The way I got out of it is I always thought about guys that were worse off than me, or
Mm.
guys that inspired me. So, like meeting these other international golfers and reading their story and looking at their social media, their stories that inspire me, like
Yeah.
makes me want to do a bit more. Or if it's a similar thing that I struggle with, I go, oh, that's a different way. You get new answers.
Yeah.
So that's why it's important to get out there, start asking questions, and then you'll get the answers
Mm-hmm.
soon enough.
Absolutely. And I think as well, being part of a community, like connection is a need as a human. And so being in a community such as the golf one that you found yourself in, like obviously by all the amazing people you've met and the people that you work and play and coach with and things like that, you surround yourselves with these people that you can feed off as well, and kind of
Yeah,
use
absolutely.
as a wall. Yeah.
Yeah, it
That's
helps a lot.
amazing. Yeah, awesome. So any last little comments, or you happy with the
Well, just reiterating, if you want to do it, don't think you can't, and don't just believe what you see on TV, because a lot of people will be seeing Tiger Woods on TV and think, oh, I can't do that because I can't do what he does. You don't have to do what he does, but start, and
Yeah.
there'll be somebody out there to help you. And if you start going at it, it'll be amazing how many people you impress.
Mm-hmm.
And then they find out about your disability and they go, I didn't realize. Then you still beat me. I'm going, it's okay.
Yeah. Oh, that's all. Thank you so much, Andrew. So guys, I will plug all of Andrew's, or the ways that you can contact him, into the comments, all right, or the description of this video. So you can get a hold of him if you have any like further questions, or you want to get amongst the golf community. And as well, like everything that we've talked about today, you can plug it onto your own sport, whether it's golf or not. I think there's some really valuable lessons about the community and about just believing in yourself and just making those little improvements into your sport, into your life, into your connections and things like that. So I really appreciate the kind of conversation we've had, Andrew. Thank you so much for coming and joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we'll definitely
good.
Get you on again. Absolutely. Otherwise, guys, I will see you in the next episode.
Bye, everyone.